The galaxy expelled them, but Earth welcomed them. Commander Lyra stood on the bridge of the last Zephyrian ship, gazing at the stars through a cracked observation window. Emergency lights cast a pale glow on her blue skin, highlighting the exhaustion etched on her face. "Commander," Navigator Kale's voice broke the silence. His words were heavy with fatigue. "Life support is failing on Ship 7. They're requesting an emergency transfer for 30 children." Lyra closed her eyes briefly. Another system failure. Another impossible choice. "Tell them we'll accept the children. We'll find space somehow." Behind her, the bridge crew worked in grim silence. Once, the Zephyrians had ruled hundreds of worlds. Now their entire civilization, the last 3 million survivors, wandered the void in 12 dying ships, rejected by every world they approached. Food supplies at 17%. Medical supplies at 12%, reported Science Officer Dana without looking Lyra in the eye. "Today we have 19 more deaths from treatable conditions." Memories flooded back. Dr. Beaks's euphoric face as he presented the quantum thruster research. "The math is flawless, Commander. This will revolutionize intergalactic travel." The tests with small objects had worked perfectly. The committee had approved the larger-scale trial. Everyone had been so careful, so meticulous. But when they activated the full-scale prototype, Lyra still saw it in her nightmares. The quantum field collapsing. The horrific chain reaction tearing apart space itself. 3 populated star systems vanishing in seconds. Billions of lives. Gone, simply gone. The Galactic Council trials lasted for months. The Zephyrians explained time and again that it was an accident. They handed over all the research data. They offered compensation for generations. They promised to cease all quantum experiments forever. None of that mattered. She recalled the cold voice of High Judge Torque echoing in the council chamber. The Zephyrian people are a danger to galactic peace. They have proven that advanced technology cannot be trusted. They will be exiled from all civilized space. The vote. 47 civilizations in favor of exile. Only 3 against. 2 abstentions. Fear had turned allies into enemies overnight. The exile order was brutally simple. Leave civilized space in 30 days. No world could offer refuge. No station could resupply their ships. No trader could sell them supplies. Anyone who helped them would face the same punishment. 3 months of wandering. 3 months of watching their people die slowly. "Commander," Kale called again, with a different tone now. "Urgent. Signals ahead. Origin unknown." Lyra turned to him. "What kind of signals?" "Radio waves, simple patterns from a small yellow star with planets." "Any indication of intelligence?" "Yes." Kale's eyes opened a little, but primitive, very primitive. By galactic standards, Lyra felt something stir in her chest. Something she thought had died months ago. Hope. "Maybe they don't know about the crash," she whispered. "Maybe they don't know we're exiles." "I'm getting more detailed readings," Kale said. "An inhabited planet. The beings call themselves humans. Have you heard of them?" "No, Commander. They don't appear in any galactic database." Completely cut off, Lyra made a decision. "Set course. Slow approach. We don't want to frighten them." The remaining ships adjusted their course, approaching the unknown star like wounded birds seeking shelter before a storm. "The planet shows signs of a young civilization," Dana reported. "Radio signals, satellites, nuclear technology. They're still learning to leave their world." She paused, intriguingly. They had fought nuclear wars in their past, but now they were working together more than ever before. "Most species go through conflict before learning cooperation," Lyra observed. "These humans seem to be overcoming that phase." She fixed her gaze on the distant yellow star growing on the screen. After months of rejection, after watching her people wither and die, could these unknown humans be different? Open a communication channel, she ordered, switching to all frequencies in use. As the signal was transmitted, Lyra closed her eyes and allowed herself, for the first time in months, to hope. First came the universal constants of mathematics, simple equations, prime numbers. Then images, geometric shapes, atomic structures, star charts. Finally, more complex concepts, greetings, explanations, peaceful intentions, the standard first contact protocol used throughout the galaxy. Earth's response was immediate and chaotic. Satellites turned toward the alien fleet. Military installations around the world went on high alert. News networks interrupted their broadcasts with frantic speculation about the strange objects that had appeared at the edge of the solar system. Captain Jake Morrison stood in NASA's command center. Watching the screens fill with data from the incoming transmissions, his heart pounded as translation algorithms began to decipher the alien message. "They call themselves Cypherians," announced Dr. Lisa Grant, Earth's leading xenobiologist. Her fingers flew across the tablet as she processed the incoming data. "They say they are refugees seeking help." General San Brooks frowned. "Refugees from what?" "They won't say," Lisa replied, "but they are requesting direct, face-to-face contact." "No way," Brooks said. "For all we know, this is the prelude to an invasion." Jake studied the transmission patterns. "This doesn't look like invasion protocols." "General, your ships stay beyond Neptune's orbit. If they wanted to attack, why announce themselves first?" The debate dragged on for days as Earth's governments discussed how to respond. Finally, a decision was made. Captain Morrison would lead a small team to rendezvous with the aliens at a designated point between Mars and Jupiter. The Unity space station, originally built for international research, was hastily refitted for first contact. Jake's shuttle approached the rendezvous point with a knot in his stomach. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries, but no one had imagined meeting aliens who needed help rather than bringing wonders or threats. The Cypherian shuttle was sleek despite the visible damage to its hull. It docked with surprising precision, considering the makeshift docking systems. When the airlock opened, Jake saw his first alien. Commander Lyra was taller than most humans, with blue skin that seemed to glow faintly in the station's lights. Her large eyes showed exhaustion, but also dignity. Jake stepped forward, extending his hand in greeting. "Welcome to our system. I am Captain Jake Morrison. We want to help if we can, through your translator." Lyra replied. "I am Commander Lyra. We appreciate your kindness. We have much to tell you about why we are here." The meeting that followed left the human delegation stunned. Dr. Aaron, the Cypherian scientist, projected recordings of the quantum experiment disaster. The humans watched in horrified silence as entire star systems vanished in seconds. "It was an accident," Lyra explained, her voice strained with grief. "We tried to assist in the rescue efforts, but it was too late, and your own people punished you for it." Jake asked incredulously. "The Galactic Council held trials for months," Dr. Aaron said. "We handed over all the research data. We offered compensation. We promised never to conduct quantum experiments again. None of it mattered." Lisa Gran leaned forward. "How many of your people survived?" "There were 8 billion of us spread across 47 worlds," Lyra replied. "Now there are 3 million of us, all on these 12 ships. The rest were in the affected systems or died in the ensuing chaos." Jake felt his chest tighten. The magnitude of both the disaster and the punishment surpassed anything humans had ever experienced. The galaxy refused to help them. "You asked a worse question," said Dr. Aaron. "They declared us a threat. The Galactic Council voted to exile us from all civilized space. No world can give us refuge. No station can resupply our ships. No trader can sell us food or medicine. Anyone who helps us becomes an exile as well. That's not right, Jake said before he could stop himself. They made a mistake, but it was an accident. People should be helping them, not punishing them. Commander Lyra looked surprised. You really think so? Most of the galaxy thinks we're too dangerous to exist near civilized worlds. It seems most of the galaxy has forgotten what it means to be civilized, Jake retorted. General Brooks cleared his throat. Captain Morrison, we must think carefully about this situation. We know nothing of galactic politics. If we help these people, we could earn the enmity of powerful civilizations, with all due respect. General, Jake said, I've seen your ships, I've seen your children. These people are dying out there. We can't just turn them away. Dr. Grant chimed in. The medical data you've shared shows severe malnutrition in your population. Your children are getting sick from a lack of proper food. Some of your elderly are dying from treatable conditions because they don't have the right medicines. We've been traveling for 4 months, Lyra explained. Our ships were damaged when we left. We can't repair them properly without resources we can't buy. Our hydroponic systems are failing. Our medical supplies are almost gone. What do you need? Jake asked. What do you need right now, today? To keep your people alive. Food, Lyra said immediately. Medicine for the sick. Parts to repair our life support systems. But, Captain, you must know that helping us means defying the Galactic Council. They have weapons that could destroy your entire world in minutes. Jake exchanged glances with his team. The decision was too momentous for them to make alone, but they could make a recommendation. Back on Earth, the United Nations Security Council convened in emergency session. Representatives from every country watched recordings of the meeting on the Unity. Chairwoman Maria Santos of the newly formed Earth Coalition addressed the Assembly. We face an unprecedented decision, she said. These people need our help. But helping them could bring upon us the wrath of advanced civilizations. I have heard arguments for turning them away, for protecting ourselves. She paused. But I cannot accept that humanity's first act on the galactic stage is to turn its back on dying children. The vote was not unanimous, but it was decisive. Earth would offer immediate humanitarian aid to the Saphirian refugees and sanctuary in the solar system for as long as they needed it. The first supply ships took off within days. Earth had never undertaken a relief operation on that scale or over that distance, but necessity spurred innovation. Deep space-adapted freighters delivered food, medicine, and raw materials to the Zephyrian fleet. Dr. Lisa Grant led the medical team that boarded the Zephyrian ships. What she found broke her heart. Children with sunken eyes and brittle bones. Elderly Zephyrians dying from infections that Earth medicine could easily cure. Life support systems patched together with makeshift parts. We won't leave until everyone is stabilized, she told her team. As they set up treatment centers on the Zephyrian ships, Jake oversaw the delivery of engineering supplies. The Zephyrians were far more technologically advanced, but they lacked basic materials to repair their systems. Human engineers watched in awe as Zephyrian technicians used Earth's primitive resources to restore complex quantum systems. Within weeks, a remarkable exchange began. Dar. Aaron worked with Earth scientists to adapt Zephyrian medical technology to human physiology. Navigator Kale taught human pilots the principles of faster-than-light travel. Zephyrian artists shared their music and literature with a fascinated human audience. Most touching were the children. The first Zephyrian families resettled in the new refugee center established by Earth in New Zealand. Blue-skinned children cautiously approached human children in parks designed for both species. They didn't yet have a common language, but play needed no translation. Tala, a 6-year-old Zephyrian, offered her toy to Emma, a human girl of similar age. Emma smiled and sat beside her, showing Tala how to draw in a notebook. Within hours, they were inseparable, creating a private language of gestures and sounds. At Unity Station, Commander Lyra met with Jake to discuss the future. "Your people have shown a kindness we never expected," she said. "But you need to know. The Galactic Council has sensors all over this sector. They will soon discover your help." "Let them," Jake replied. "We're not going to hide the fact that we're helping people in need." "You don't understand the risk," Lyra insisted. "The Council has thousands of warships. Each one could destroy your largest cities from orbit. They have weapons capable of shattering planets." Jake's expression remained firm. "If they come, we'll deal with it when it happens. For now, we're focused on saving lives." The warning proved prophetic. Just 3 months after first contact, a Galactic Council observation vessel detected unusual activity in the Sol system. Its long-range sensors recorded human ships docking with Teferian vessels, transferring supplies, and providing assistance. Ambassador Krex of the Korak Empire stood before the holographic screen in the council chamber, his scaly face twisted with rage. "These primitive beings dare to defy our exile order. The humans of Earth have given refuge to the criminals we expelled. This cannot be allowed." High Counselor Borth of the Federation, Alter Ion, nodded in agreement. "Humans are new to galactic affairs. Perhaps they simply do not grasp the gravity of the Zephyrian threat." "Then we will educate them," Krex replied coldly. "Send a message to Earth, tell them to hand over the Teferians immediately or face the consequences." The Council's message arrived during a joint human-Zafrian celebration. The first Zephyrian baby had been born on Earth, a symbol of hope for both species. President Santos read the translation aloud to her advisors, her expression grave. The message was clear and menacing. Earth had 72 hours to hand over all Teferian refugees or be declared a rogue world by the Galactic Council. "What exactly does it mean to be declared a rogue world?" she asked Dr. Kevin Park, Earth's new head of alien technology research. "According to the information provided by the Zephyrians, it means total isolation," Park replied. "No trade, no communication, no contact with any galactic civilization. And if we continue to resist, military action," Park said quietly. President Santos walked to the window, looking at the construction sites that had sprung up around Washington. In just 3 months, Zephyrian technology had begun to transform human society. New medical facilities were eliminating diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries. Clean energy systems were replacing fossil fuels. The first prototypes of ships with Zephyrian-inspired engines were being prepared for test flights, but it was more than just technology. The Zephyrians were becoming part of Earth's global community. Their children attended schools alongside human children. Their scientists worked in laboratories with human researchers. Their artists created works that blended both cultures. A communication request came in from the lunar base where many Teferians had settled. Commander Lyra appeared on the screen, her blue face showing concern. "President Santos, we too have received the Council's message. We do not want humanity to suffer because of us. If you wish us to leave, absolutely not," Santos replied firmly. "You are now under Earth's protection. That means something." "But, Madam President," Lyra said, "you do not understand the power of the Galactic Council. The Korak Empire alone has 10,000 warships. You cannot fight them with conventional technology." "With conventional technology," Dr. Park stepped forward. "Perhaps we cannot fight them with conventional technology, but we are no longer using conventional technology, are we?" Commander Lyra stood alone on the observation deck of Unity Station, watching the Earth slowly rotate beneath her. Beautiful blue oceans, swirling white clouds, green and brown land masses. A living world that had opened its arms when the entire galaxy had turned its back on it. "Trouble sleeping again?" Dr. Aaron's voice came from behind her. Lyra didn't turn around. "The dreams don't stop. I see star systems collapsing. I hear the emergency transmissions." Cut off mid-sentence. "You weren't even there," Aaron said gently. "None of us on these ships were. I was on the committee that approved the experiment. I personally checked Dr. Bex's equations. Aaron stood beside her. So was I. And 50 other scientists. We all believed it was safe, and billions died because we were wrong. She pressed her palm against the window. Sometimes I wonder if the council was right to exile us. Don't say that, Aaron retorted sharply. The accident was tragic, but it was still an accident. What the council did was deliberate cruelty. Miles away, in the newly established Saphirian settlement zone in New Zealand, the first blue-skinned children were attending human schools. Integration had begun cautiously, with human parents expressing concerns about alien influence. But the children, as always, adapted faster than the adults. Mila, a 7-year-old Saphirian girl, approached her new classroom with her father, Dr. Zenka. Her blue fingers nervously gripped a translation device. "What if they don't like me?" she whispered. "What if they think I'm weird?" Zenka knelt beside her. "They probably will at first," he said honestly. "But you can think they look weird, too. That's how we learn from each other." Inside, 20 human children stared as Mila entered. Her teacher, Ms. Rodriguez, smiled warmly. "Class, this is Mila. She's from the Saphirian community. Mila, would you like to tell us something about yourself?" Mila stiffened, then whispered into the translator. The device spoke for her. "In my world, we had water gardens where the plants grew in geometric patterns. I miss them so much." A boy raised his hand. "We have a garden at my house. You can come see it if you want." In Washington, D.C., Admiral Jake Morrison was reviewing defense scenarios with his team. The promotion still felt strange. 6 months earlier, he had been the captain of a research vessel. Now he was coordinating Earth's first line of defense against a possible galactic invasion. "Sir," said his aide. "The president wants to see you." President Santos was reviewing refugee resettlement reports when Jake arrived. "Admiral, please sit down. I wanted to ask you something personal." Jake sat stiffly. "Madam, why did you advocate so strongly for the Saphirians?" General Brooks was ready to reject them. "Half of my advisors warned that it was too risky. But you insisted on helping them. Why?" Jake's gaze drifted back to something distant, to when he was 9 years old. "My family lived in Syria. My father was a diplomat. When the Civil War broke out, we had to evacuate. I remember standing at the border watching families being turned away." He paused. "I asked my father why we could leave and others couldn't. He said it was because we had the right papers, the right connections. That night I heard him crying in the bathroom." "I never saw that in his file," Santos said quietly. "It's not the kind of thing that goes on military records. But when I saw Commander Lyra's ships, all I could think was, what if the whole world was like that border crossing? What if there was nowhere to go?" At the Lunar Research Facility, Dr. Kevin Park was working alongside Dr. Aaron to integrate quantum theory with human physics. Their early attempts at creating defensive shields had failed spectacularly, burning out equipment and nearly killing a technician. "The problem is conceptual," Aaron explained with obvious frustration. "His physics describes the universe as particles and waves. Ours understands it as probability membranes with quantum cohesion." "Maybe we're both right," Park suggested. "Different ways of describing the same reality." Aaron frowned. How could both be true? Just as light is both particle and wave, just as matter is both solid and mostly empty space, Park scribbled quickly on a tablet. "And if we stop trying to translate their science into ours and instead build a new framework that incorporates both," Aaron studied the diagram and then nodded slowly. "This might actually work." The breakthrough came at 3 a.m., after 40 hours without sleep. The test shield generator sprang to life, creating a shimmering barrier that successfully repelled the test projectile. Aaron let out a delirious laugh and hugged Park. Then he froze, suddenly self-conscious. Physical contact between strangers was taboo in Zephyrian culture. Park noticed his discomfort. Sorry. Hugging isn't something we do among our people, only among family or lifelong friends, Aaron admitted. Well, Park smiled. After 40 hours in this lab, I think we've already fallen into one of those categories. On the diplomatic front, Lyra faced challenges of her own. A delegation of Earth religious leaders had requested a meeting with Zephyrian representatives to discuss the theological implications of alien life. I'm a military commander. Not a spiritual leader, Lyra protested to the president. Santos. They asked to speak specifically with you, Santos replied. Your people are changing the way humans see themselves in the universe. These leaders need to understand who they are. The meeting took place in a simple conference room. Leaders from dozens of religions, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, indigenous traditions, and more, sat in a circle with Lyra and 3 other Zephyrians. Rabbi Goldstein spoke first. Commander, do you believe in God or gods? Lyra considered this carefully. We have a concept called fluid unity. The idea that all matter and energy are expressions of the same underlying reality. Some Zephyrians see it scientifically, others spiritually. Imam al-Farsi nodded. Not unlike our concept of Tawhid, the oneness of Allah, or the Hindu concept of Brahman, added Swami Patel. What began as a potential conflict turned into a 6-hour dialogue of comparative theology. The Zephyrians shared their traditional ceremonies. The human leaders described their diverse approaches to faith. Both sides discovered unexpected parallels in how sentient beings in the galaxy approach existence for ordinary Zephyrians. Daily life on Earth presented constant challenges and surprises. Food was the first stumbling block. Human cuisine contained compounds toxic to Zephyrian biology, while Zephyrian cooking methods sometimes produced odors that made humans physically ill. Kal, a Zephyrian chef who had once cooked for planetary governors, explained. She was now working with human nutritionists to develop a fusion cuisine safe for both species. Her restaurant in Sydney became an unexpected cultural meeting point where humans and Zephyrians could share meals and conversation. Their species uses food to build social bonds, Kal observed to Dr. Lisa Grant during a tasting session. For us, eating has always been a private activity. That's why the Zephyrians always declined dinner invitations, Lisa asked. We thought they were aloof. Kal emitted a trilling sound, the Zephyrian equivalent of laughter. And we thought humans were intrusive for wanting to watch us eat. These misunderstandings were common, but increasingly they were resolved through cultural exchange programs. Zephyrian music, with its complex mathematical harmonies, found an enthusiastic audience among human composers. Human visual art, with its emphasis on emotional expression rather than technical precision, fascinated Zephyrian creators. Not all interactions were positive. Anti-alien protests erupted in several cities, with demonstrators claiming that the Zephyrians would bring galactic retaliation upon Earth. Some human workers feared being replaced by technically advanced Zephyrians. Tensions arose to a boiling point in Chicago, where a planned Zephyrian community center faced violent opposition. They sent Admiral Morrison to address the situation personally. Standing before the angry crowd, he removed his uniform jacket. Today I speak not as an admiral, but as a citizen of Earth. I understand your fear. The unknown is always frightening. They're going to kill us all, shouted one protester. Maybe, Jake admitted, to the crowd's surprise. I can't promise that helping the Zephyrians won't have consequences. What I can promise is that turning our backs on refugees in need would have fundamentally changed who we are as humans. From the back of the crowd, an elderly woman stepped forward. My parents were Holocaust survivors, she said softly. They were refugees once, and many countries refused to take them. I won't stand idly by while we do the same to others, even if they are from another world. Gradually, the crowd's anger subsided. Not everyone was convinced, but the conversation had begun on the Zephyrian side. Integration generated its own internal conflicts. One faction, led by former Science Minister Talon, advocated for cultural isolation, arguing that too much human influence was detrimental.